I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Super Bowl Sunday is a yearly tradition to cheer on the best of the best in the NFL. But now Leslie Science and Nature Center is making it a day for our feathered friends to get some annual cheer during Superb Owl Sunday.
People had a hoot as they delved into the mysterious world of owls.
Owls are probably the only awake top predator that we have here in Michigan that really takes on the way of doing the checks and balances of a lot of those smaller species. Without top predators, we might be overrun with prey items like mice. And with lots of mice, we might run out of certain plant species or some of their food too. So having a top predator like an owl helps create a balance throughout the ecosystem. More importantly, the food web that occupies it as well.
Feeding the owls at Leslie SNC come with their own set of challenges.
The food that the owls are eating is actually soaked in water first, just to make sure that the birds are getting some hydration. And then we actually eviscerate the rats. So we take out basically the stinky parts of the rats, intestines, bowels, things like that. The parts that nobody wants to eat because they don't taste very good. And then after that, we keep very careful track of how much weight in food each bird is getting to make sure that it's at a healthy weight for the temperature of the season.
But you also have to take into account the thrill of the hunt.
You can construct different things out of toilet paper tubes and bottles and rope and things like that. And sometimes we hide some of their food in there or just put different toys in that are sort of locked together, and the birds get to actually play with them.
After digestion, the owls actually leave clues to the meals they devour.
Owls eat all of their prey at one time. So they digest the meat and the bones and the fur and all the tissue and take that down into their stomachs. And as they digest it, certain things can't be broken down by their bodies. So they cough up the pellet with mostly fur and bone. And then we can actually collect that, we sanitize it, and if you break it open, you can see, just like clues left behind, the skeleton of whatever animals the bird has eaten.
For more on all the enriching programs available, visit lesliesnc.org. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. Legos are no longer just childhood memories. The company has built an empire with movies and merchandise that fascinate the big kid in all of us. Take a look.
For years, the city has hosted an event that brings out the best of your imagination through the use of Legos.
This is Brick Bash. It's a public Lego exhibition. It's for all ages. It's a big show of all things Lego, from architecture, artwork, mechanical devices.
Local artists of Lego from the Midwest area coming out to Ann Arbor to have some fun and show people what we do as a hobby. Lego started out as a wood company. They made wood toys, push toys, and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people I don't think realize that today. Things like the Lego movie and the Brickumentary open the door a little bit for people, but until they actually come and see what's capable, I don't think they quite grasp it as much as they do on film.
Brick Bash is a one-of-a-kind fundraiser for the Skyline High School Marching Band.
2005, I held the first one, and I had about 200 visitors, and now we're up to about 4,000, so it's grown quite a bit over the years. You can go and get your hands on Lego and do things and build things. We have a racetrack, so you can build a car out of Lego and it races down the racetrack.
The ability to express yourself and build practically anything. I mean, it's very rewarding to come up with an idea and be able to bring it to life. I don't care how many sets you buy and how cool your collection is, you'll never see something like this.
Check out this year's LEGO festivities February 10th and 11th. For more, visit brickbash.com. As the city covers in snowflakes, there is some need-to-know information for residents and businesses alike as they keep their sidewalks safe for pedestrians. Learn about snow removal guidelines in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, my name is Robert Keller with the City of Ann Arbor. Winter means snow and ice, and that makes it hard for people to get around the city, especially pedestrians. So, as a resident and business, you need to do your part and help clear your sidewalks of ice and snow. What does that mean? Well, for residents, it means any snow accumulation greater than 1 inch has to be cleared within 24 hours. If you're a business, any snow accumulation by 6 a.m. needs to be cleared by noon the same day. So help do your part, clear your adjacent sidewalks, crosswalk ramps, and any concrete bus stops that may be adjacent to your property, and help make it easier for people to get around the great city of Ann Arbor.
Does success change the person you once were and mold you into something new? The 2013 Pulitzer Prize-winning drama Disgraced is asking just that and a lot more as corporate lawyer Amir Kapoor hosts a dinner party with friends that soon escalates into heated conversations that make him question his current identity. Joining me is director Joe York and actor Neel Vaidya, here to discuss PTD's production of Disgraced. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
So can you kind of tell us a little bit about Disgraced and what attracted you to wanting to direct this show?
Well, first of all, let me do the second part first. That it's just a wonderful play. I've read many plays and trying to, help decide what plays our company are going to do. And the plays that you want to read more than once or more than twice, they're really tell you that there's something there. And
well, and you figure if you're directing a play, you're reading it quite a few times.
Yes, and I love directing, and so I submit plays to do, and if I'm going to be spending, a year and then 6 months in kind of preparation and then 3 months in active participation in something, I want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to do that. Now about this show, that it just carries you along, and I found that the lead character Amir, who Neel plays, very sympathetic, and I'm not like him. He's not like me, but I found his what happens with him. I had a lot of sympathy for what went on, and empathy for him. So I like that, and to me it just portrays what happens when we trap each other, and we do that in trying to protect ourselves from something. We end up trapping somebody else with our fears.
Mm-hmm. Neel, what made you want to audition for the role of Amir? Or did you originally audition for that role?
I did. For me, it was more of a personal experience, if I can put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
The story is about Amir Kapoor, who is a second-generation Pakistani American. And so, me being an immigrant myself, I understand what he goes through in the play. As an immigrant, you tend to detach yourself culturally in order to fit in.
Yeah.
And that happens unknowingly. You don't consciously want to do that, but it just happens.
Yeah.
And with Amir Kapoor, it's sort of, he goes through, a phase where he's trying to, detach himself in order to move ahead, in his personal life.
Mm-hmm.
But it does backfire on him, and that's what the play's about. And I really connected with that, that beat of the play. And
did you feel like you maybe learned some stuff about yourself playing this character?
I don't, it's really hard to really get an answer. And the play really doesn't give you an answer, just opens up the stage for, a discussion maybe. And I guess, you know, it's a conversation starter for sure. People are going to go back and talk about it, and I think that's the intent. You know, for the audience to go back and then not forget what just happened. You know, they're going to talk about it and you know, be more aware about things. So.
If you guys could tell me a little bit more about, so how many characters are there? There's like 4 characters in
5.
5.
There's Amir, his wife Emily, who's a white Christian woman. There's a co-worker of Amir's is Jory, and she's a black lady who's a lawyer who works with Amir. They're kind of on the same level of responsibilities and whatnot. And her husband is, what's his name?
Isaac.
Isaac, yes, Isaac is Jewish descent, American, but he's a curator of a art gallery, and Amir's wife Emily is an artist, and Emily wants to get in that gallery, and so Amir arranges to have them get together for a weekend in the country, and then leads to Emily convincing Isaac that to have her work hung in his gallery. And when they he goes to announce the thing and celebrate at a dinner, then things break loose. But in the meantime, where the show starts off is Amir's nephew is what's his name? Abe. It's slipping here. Yeah. Abe, whose real name is Hussein, but he wants to go by Abe because he doesn't want to. He wants to
Americanize himself.
Americanize himself, and he's found precedent in the Koran to that he could do this. But he's more of a Muslim. Amir is an apostate, as he says, because he'd given it up. So Amir's nephew Abe wants Amir to go down and talk to an imam who's been arrested for aiding terrorism, and it seems the charges are bogus. But Amir is a corporate lawyer; he's not a criminal lawyer or anything, so he doesn't want to do that. But Abe and Amir's wife Emily talk him into going down and see the guy, and he gets his picture in the paper with this guy, and his bosses Amir's bosses don't like that.
Yeah.
So it leads to a problem, and I don't know how much I want to reveal, but
I wouldn't give away too much.
Yeah, but
reading the synopsis of this, actually you guys dubbed it like a comedic drama. So there is some comedy in it, because it sounds pretty serious when the way you're describing it, but there's some comedy in it as well.
It is comedy, and it's there's a lot of comedy. In fact, it's more comedy. But
with like
it's
real
like
subject
laughing
matter,
at yourself
at
how nasty you are, you know, at some point. But
so when is the show?
It opens on February 22nd. It runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m. in the evening. Then there's a Sunday matinee, and there's a Wednesday matinee at 2, and the Sunday matinee's at 2.
Okay.
And then the following weekend, it runs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening again at 8 at the Riverside Arts Center.
Okay, so why don't you each tell the audience why you think people should come see Disgraced?
You want to go first?
If you want. Okay. I think people will be very charmed by it and very taken with the movement of the action and the wonderful performances that the actors are doing. You'll see maybe some of yourself and your friends, and maybe it'll help you to see them more clearly.
Neel?
I think to put it simple, you won't be bored. I think at every, with every scene, the temperature keeps rising, and you'll, like Joe said, you'll sympathize with each character. You'll realize their vulnerabilities, and you'll get them somewhere. You'll understand them, and you'll walk out being more, more informed and understand, the situation very well. So you should definitely come and watch.
All right, well, thank you both for being on the show.
You're welcome.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/watchctn. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.